It's been a crazy, interesting, enlightening, educational 2+ weeks.
Welcome to the Allegedly podcast with your hosts, Katie and Dakota.
Hey there.
Hey, yo.
How's it going?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So I think we should probably address like we took a nice pause for a cause moment. So we wanted to make sure that we were spending all of our time and energy focusing on the Black Lives Matter movement, and then just at least for me, and I think for you as well, it's been a minute since we've talked, but just really been spending some time getting educated and kind of learning where like I may have been wrong in my mindset and
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, and kind of learning how I can be a better ally. So I think that we knew that that was the right thing that we wanted to do. So took 2 weeks off, and like just because we're back podcasting doesn't mean that we are not still educating ourselves and spending time focusing on it as well. But wanted to kind of get back at this at the same time. So
Mm-hmm. For sure. Well said.
thanks, sis.
Yeah, that was really well said. I mean, like I did owe you all the way. I think like we were aligned on our reasonings for stepping back and making sure that the focus was on the things that we weren't producing really, And
Yeah,
now hopefully like I see a lot of change happening, and hopefully change will continue to happen.
totally. I think it's it's promising that there's still protests going on over
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later at this point. I think that's awesome. I know you and I both participated in a
Mm-hmm.
protest, which is cool. For me, it was like truly such a moving, life changing event, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like my eyes were open to a lot just by participating in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think, I mean, we don't need to sit here and say, well, I've been doing this and this and this. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
not what it's about. But I fully agree with you. I think that spending the time, like I am following so many new cool people on Instagram who, they're not new. It's just that their outlets don't get the spotlight and recognition that they deserve. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's super unfortunate that it has to come to the events that have transpired to give like Black
This
women
kind of
and men,
momentum.
yeah, give them attention. But I also feel very fortunate that now I'm following so many cool people who have really great perspectives. I think not only on race but just like life in general. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I don't want to keep reiterating it, but we did what we felt was right. And like I know my heart wouldn't have been in it had we been recording podcasts throughout the entire like 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to see your face again, and
Hear your
um
voice.
really great to hear your voice. um no, but I'm excited, and I feel inspired to kind of shift the way that I'm thinking, the way I'm moving, and um, live as positive and uplifting as of a life as possible, and
Mm-hmm.
also make sure I'm spending more time educating myself on serious issues because
Mm-hmm.
your girl has been Kardashians and The Bachelor for far too long. And I think that, like, unfortunately, and fortunately at the same time, like, this has been a huge wake up call and great lesson for me.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I think for me, it's been interesting because like a lot of the decisions that are made in our country are like political decisions, I guess you could say. And I've always been interested in it. And at some points I've even like joked about being president or told people like, hey, like do I have your vote or things like that. And I think one thing that like participating in a protest is like sometimes your politics isn't just like your opinions, it's actually like actions creating change, which I think is really cool to see. And it's something that like has happened, recently, where like
Totally.
actions are actually creating change, which is what people say. But it's like when it comes down to politics, sometimes what people say and what actually happens doesn't actually align. So I'm excited to see actions creating change, because that's the way that it should be. And that's why we have the right to like protest and freedom of speech and things like that. So it's really cool. And I think hopefully my future political career will like benefit just from like what I've learned over the last couple of weeks, and just like the way that I approach my opinions with more action.
Totally. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that I personally have stayed very, very silent on a lot of political matters over the
Mhm.
years and honestly my whole life, just because I didn't feel that I was super educated in any of the subjects. And um, I also, like, it's my fault and I'm willing to own it. I wasn't taking the time to actually get educated, which is
Mhm.
pretty terrible and ignorant of me. But I think that recently, like, learning about this stuff and just like really paying close attention, um, I've kind of learned, like, even though the conversations may be uncomfortable, they may be weird, like, it's good to speak up and it's good to voice your
Mhm.
opinion. And I think that something that I've kind of learned, and it's going to take me a while to probably action upon it, but um knee jerk reaction is like, oh, anyone who's a Trump supporter, for example, like, who posts on their Facebook about like how he's the best, like, my reaction has always just been like, oh, I'm just gonna go
Mhm.
unfriend them, like, f them, like, I'm so done. But I think that over the last few weeks, what I've kind of learned is like, you should be having conversations with those people. And
Mhm.
I mean, maybe I'm not gonna have a conversation with Sally from childhood, who I haven't talked to in 20 years, but she's my Facebook friend. Like, that might just be a, like, hey, let's delete. But if
Mhm.
it's someone who is a friend, or that I've had more recent contact with, like, why not actually have a conversation and understand
$100%.
why they support them? Because just because, like, my opinion is not the law by any means, you
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like, no matter how much I think it is the law, and I am very guilty of being like, I'm always right, like,
Mhm.
that's 100% my mindset. But um like, I know that at the end of the day, that's not the right way to approach everything. So I think just kind of learning how to have those conversations, and instead of just f you, you're gone, delete,
Mhm.
figuring out how I can learn from them, they can learn from me, maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle, or we agree to disagree. Either one is
Yeah, where you just
completely,
like, oh, I now understand why you think that way. Like I don't agree with you, but like
yeah.
I at least understand why. I think
And
one
maybe
thing,
and maybe I walk away not understanding, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
true.
But you at least have that conversation, so that you can at least check the box, if you will. Like, but
Mhm.
not in a negative, like, oh, I've just got to check the box, do it, but more like, okay, I had that conversation with that person, we're not going to see eye to eye, because no one, like, not everyone does see eye to eye in every single thing, right? But
Right.
I think at least giving it a go, and trying to have the conversation is like a good start. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not comfortable yet, like really jumping in there and being like, hey, let's have these conversations. But I'm working on learning how to.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're at an age where, well, maybe I don't know if this is right to say, but like anyone that's of voting age, it's almost like your responsibility to have some sort of information surrounding politics, and like so you can make an informed decision to vote, or and you can vote and you should vote and things
Totally.
like that. I think for me, which like I wasn't anticipating us talking about this, nor did I have I ever really thought it before. But I think the thing that's changed the most for me when it comes to politics and just like using your voice or voting changed the most when I left the South, because
Yeah.
I've always viewed Arkansas and Texas as just like my vote doesn't matter, because of the
Yeah.
electoral college, and like I'm not very good at doing like smaller voting things. What is that called again, Mr. Politics over here? Like your state senators or like your
Yeah,
city
yeah.
people, things like
Like
that. Like I haven't
smaller,
participated in
like
that
a
stuff.
city council.
Yeah, like I think I'm not doing well enough in that space, but like I think
Yeah.
everything that's happening is like waking everybody up. And then the other thing that I saw too when it comes to like seeing someone who may have a different opinion, I saw this like the other day, but I think everything when it comes to like these decisions, or there's like two sides of every opinion, is it's become very Republican and Democratic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people that are our age think a little bit differently beyond the bounds of that. And I saw this like sentence that just said it's really lazy to only agree entirely with one party. Like to have, if you're
Totally.
affiliated with one party, it's really lazy of you to agree with every single thing that that party stands for. And I think if we realize
Absolutely.
that like people are a lot more dynamic than just one party, and maybe I mean those people may exist, you know what I mean, where they're just like
Totally.
that's 100%
I am
with what I do.
aligned. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I think
Absolutely.
we're all a lot more dynamic than that, which is why having conversations is important, so you can see where people like who they fully are, not just like on that
Yeah.
one issue or why they may like Trump, or I don't know. You know what I mean?
One
110? Did I get a 110%?
we love that. No, I completely agree. I think that you're right. It is super irresponsible to just be like, well, I'm a Democrat and every single Democratic belief is law. Like,
Because
and
then at the
there's
end of the day, we
no
probably don't know
shifting.
all of the, you know what I mean? We
Totally,
probably don't even
totally.
know. So here
Yeah,
we are, just trying to level up.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a crazy, interesting, enlightening, educational 2+ weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it's been mentally exhausting, but all for good reason, I
Mm-hmm.
think.
Ditto.
So yeah, I mean, it's just kind of taught me like I don't want to like I don't want to just slow down. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that like for social media circumstances, like there I'm trying to figure out my, how I want to navigate and still be educating, but also like posting, my life stuff. I think like that'll come with time, just kind of figuring out how to navigate it. But yeah.
For sure. Other than where we've mentally been, have you been up to anything new since I last spoke to you?
Um, t- to be quite honest, no. I've just been like reading a lot of books and like like for me this the Black Lives Matter movement has been like my main focus probably since
Mm-hmm.
we last talked. I've just really wanted to make sure that I was putting my effort into it, learning about new foundations, like whatever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's like really what I've been doing. Some of it has been laying outside by the pool, but yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I've just basically we covered already what's new with me. I know
Yeah,
that
for
you do.
sure.
I think you do have some updates though.
Yeah, I mean everything with me is just because I'm not doing much else, you know? Like conditions are
Right.
still very like corona-y, you know? To where I'm not
Yeah.
like I
I
did go to a
mean,
restaurant for the first time, so like that's exciting. That
and
was
how
really
was it?
fun. It was divine, honestly.
It was delightful.
I went to a restaurant for the first time. I discovered like the best ice cream place in the whole world. I've eaten a lot of ice
Okay.
cream recently.
Wow.
I know the dairy of
She's
it
fab
all.
she's fab fit and fun. She
I
is not a vegan.
I bought a Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So he's a
Productive.
gamer now. I know. Well, this is the thing. The reason I got that, like, I've been over at a friend's house and they had it, and it was just the nostalgia of my childhood, you know, playing
Got
Mario
it.
Party and stuff. But it comes with like a screen, so you can connect it to your TV, or it comes with the screen. So I'm like, oh my god, if I'm in the van and I need something to do, rather than being
Oh
on my phone,
gosh.
I'm just gonna be switching it.
So how are things going with the van?
The van hasn't had as much momentum as it did that first week that I had it, but it's doing good now. So,
Yeah.
like, she got spray painted on.
Yep.
I found that the morning that I was already taking it to the dealership because I messed up the seatbelt. So, like,
Yeah.
it kind of
See.
had a double whammy of like things I needed to address before I could start working on the inside.
Yep.
So I was able to get the spray paint off super easy.
That's
Well,
I
super
mean,
easy after the third day.
it took you hours
Yeah.
and days.
The first day, well, the once I found the right material, then
Got
she
it.
started
Then
coming
it was
off.
smooth sailing.
Super smooth sailing.
Got it.
So rather than spending 2 days, I spent like 2 hours and got it off.
Wow.
I know it
Okay.
came off fast. So paint remover, don't be fearful of that. Or paint thinner. If you ever get a little something on your car, it won't take off your base paint. So
My
no
car has
life.
only been vandalized once, and it was in high school. I apparently had a bully that I didn't know, and they sprayed mustard all over my car
Mm, that's
and
nice.
wrote in my driveway in ketchup and mustard. Yeah,
Love that.
little bitches.
Um, I know. Well, and other than that, now I'm just trying to like put up stuff to create a wall and then keep going,
Yeah,
you know? But like
nice.
other than that, like that's been 2 weeks and I haven't like done like I haven't had much progress. So like very same, you know, like haven't
Yeah,
done much, focusing my energy on different things and
yeah,
now finding a balance, but continue to work on the things that like I've set as far as goals for this year, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
You know what? I just love to hear that. That's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic.
Cheers.
Well, cheers to that. Like we said, guys, like super excited to kind of get back at this, talk some fun topics, and I think we can work to be better at incorporating some more serious topics as well.
We're still
Um,
super new, you know, and like we've talked
yeah,
about having some more like serious or opinionated pieces in our pod, but
yeah.
like we're still new. We're still experimenting with like what we are
What
good at
works,
flowing
what
at.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah. So
totally.
I
Yeah,
think
no,
it
I
would be
think
nice. I think that would be a nice thing to add, you know, because I think people people get their information from a lot of different sources and some of them could be helpful, some of them could be hurtful, but I think getting more information like from people you relate to may be better, you know.
totally. Not sure if we'll be not sure if we'll
No,
be
we're not
helpful
like
or hurtful. But
stay tuned, I guess.
yeah, but I think that if that's something that everyone who's made it this far would like to see more of, like please give us feedback, let us know. I think that while like we absolutely enjoy doing this, and I think that we obviously want to keep it going, but we also want to make sure that our content is catered towards what everyone wants to listen to. So let
Hmm.
us know if you want us to have more serious conversations, if you want us to talk about the Donald. um, or or not, if you want us to talk about Kim K. Um, well, I feel like we kind of covered how things are going, and like I said, super excited to get after it again.
It was good to take a break, and it's good to be back.
Agreed. Well, as always, please follow us on our Instagram at allegedly Katie Dakota, Dakota's Instagram at Dakota Etheridge, my Instagram at kt.hen, and share us with a friend and give us feedback. And we will see you in the next one. Peace and
Peace be
love.
with you.
Bye.